Welcome, everybody, to the Geek Dad Report versus the NFL. I'm Brian West, that's Ryan Tomlinson, and we have teamed up together for the wild card weekend of the 2017 playoffs.
We told our kids to shut up and go to bed. We're tired of their picks being better than ours.
I'm just tired of everyone telling us that we should stop doing this and let our children do it. You know, what do you guys know about anything? You don't know the work we put into this.
So the views were like this when it was just you and I switching off. You know, they're like going up and down. And then when our kids are on, all of a sudden it went like off the chart.
Skyrockets.
And like, we get like 20 comments. Like, oh, it's such a great episode.
People actually shared. So you know what? I'd like to say a couple things. One, Chuck actually won 9 games last week, which should... She's 5 and
she spent half the episode going.
Yeah, and she predicted on uniform colors and what their mascots were. So I'm formulating a whole new. I'm gonna hit Vegas next year with a whole new strategy, and I'm gonna be a millionaire. I can feel it.
The horses win, and I can't remember what her other ones were.
Yeah, it was horses. She liked the Native Americans. She liked horses, and she liked pirates.
Yes, which played out well, amazingly.
Yeah, and number 2, I'd like to say that all of you people who said, "Oh, we haven't seen your show," it's weird how many of you saw it when our kids did it. That's really strange. Mm-hmm. Like, then it magically showed up in your feed and you shared and liked it. But when me and Ryan show our beautiful faces around here, these parts, we put together all this hard work, hours of data that we just comb over. Stats, you should see, like, I got this whole wall of stats. I look like a beautiful mind over here. I got stats everywhere. And just nobody cares.
There was a whole dedicated like Google document that was, keep track of stuff.
But we put on our kids, and everyone magically finds it in their feed. It's strange. Yeah. It's a weird algorithm that Facebook is running. So thanks for all that, people. Anyway, but, you know what? If I seem bitter, it's because one of us tonight have a team in the playoffs, and one of us does not. I'll let you guess whose team is out of the playoffs because they don't know how to pick a stupid kicker. I mean, what? Why do we even have kickers in the NFL? They're not a part of the game. Goodell, get rid of kickers. They're not a valuable part of the game, and all they do is keep good teams like the beloved Seattle Seahawks out of the playoffs because their fucking kicker can't kick a field goal.
So instead of doing kickoffs, it would just be like you start the ball on the 20 or something?
I don't care how they do it. They can do cartwheels for the ball for all I care. Just, you can have Brett Favre come out of retirement and he can throw it every single kickoff into somebody, throw it to him in the back of the end zone. You know, he's not doing anything. He's sitting on his ranch selling Wranglers. He could like come in for the kickoff guy and just throw the balls in the air. He's got like a cannon arm.
Backup quarterback can just come in and he just, charges tossing the ball down the field.
And you know what? Everybody would like it if we didn't have to kick stupid field goals anyway. Just go for it on 4th down. I mean, the Hawks were successful every time they went for it on 4th down when they're like, you know what? Walsh can't make this 43-yard field goal. Let's go for it. They'd get the first down. And guess what? When they're like, you know what? Game's on the line. No big deal. I mean, whatever. It's only a 50-yarder. No problems. We got Walsh. What could go wrong? Well, I'll tell you what could go wrong. It could go wide fucking right. That's what it could do. Like 8 times this year. 3 games. I have never ever had a Seahawks season where a kicker cost us 3 freaking games. And let's do the math. We won 9 games. And then 9 plus 3 games would be 12 games. Carry the 1. It'd be 12-4. And you'd be probably sitting at a first-round bye. Instead, Walsh...
I saw somebody on Twitter, I forgot to share with you, but they had done like his team photo, but they only showed like this much of his face, and then the rest of it was like all like the
everything wide right. Yeah, I saw a jersey the same way. It showed Walsh, and it had the number, and then the name was way over to the left. So I was like, you know what, whatever. All I can say, and this is the last bit of a little Seahawks rambling we're going to talk about because we're talking about playoffs, and the Seahawks aren't in it. So, last thing I want to say is it was kind of fitting, honestly, for him to miss that stupid field goal. The playoffs were over. Cam Newton already crapped all over himself and lost any chance the Hawks had of getting into the playoffs anyway. Atlanta had already won. We were out. And I remember them driving. I'd seen the score. Carolina had just lost to Atlanta, and I'm like, well, that's it. We're not making the playoffs. But we just started our drive to win the game. And I looked at my buddy and I said, you know what? It'd be pretty fitting if we try and win this game on a Blair Walsh field goal. And if we do, he's totally going to shank it. And my friend's like, dude, don't jinx us. I'm like, all right, sure as shit. What happens? Game comes down to a Blair Walsh field goal and he fucking shanks it. Shocker.
Well, I'll just say this, that my team has a first round bye. And so my biggest complaint is that I have to wait a week to watch my team play in the playoffs. So
this is a look of a man who doesn't give a shit.
A man with a lot of Seahawks paraphernalia.
Well, you know what? Listen, I'm a homer and I'm a faithful fan. So win or lose, it's my team. I'm gonna rep them. But as Ryan said, we got 4 teams on a bye this week. The Eagles and the Patriots, the Steelers, and the Vikings are both on a bye. So if you have any of those teams that you root for, well, take the weekend off and just relax like Ryan's doing.
And remember, there's Saturday game and Sunday. So there are 2 games on Saturday, 2 games on Sunday.
Yes. Wow. So, well, shall we get to the first games on Saturday?
Yes.
All right. Let's see. Who do we got? First up in the AFC, we have the Tennessee Titans playing the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, the Chiefs have won the last 4 games. Mm-hmm. And even though they had like that weird slump in the middle of the season where they went like 1-6 or something like that.
That was a weird. God, did a team start any hotter and then go any colder and then somehow get real hot again?
I don't know. I'm trying to remember the last time they went ooh. And that's just kind of like how it's been.
Well, Kareem Hunt was rushing for like 1,000 yards a game, and then they just gave him the ball 9 times for 8 games.
Yeah,
he had no yards at all. Yeah, I don't get it.
And then the Titans, they've lost 3 out of their last 4 games.
Yeah, I think the Titans are just they're a shell right now of what. Yeah. Well, they're not even a shell of their former selves. They're just not really that good. They've had a lot of injuries. Yeah. They're luckily playing a really bad conference and division, so they got into the playoffs based on that.
Yeah. They peaked 4 or 5 weeks ago. I
wouldn't say the Titans have ever really peaked. They'd win 1, lose 2, win 2, lose 1, win 3, lose 4. That's just been their season all year. I don't think they're very good. I think they're injury plagued right now. They've lost a lot of players to a lot of crazy injuries. And Marcus Mariota just really isn't that good this year. He's regressed a lot. I don't know about you, but I think Kansas City's going to win this one going away. They're at home.
Yeah, I think we're both going to be in agreement on this one. The Tennessee is too much of a team that's on the downturn to try and even do an upset win. So
yeah, I agree. So we're both taking it. Brian and Ryan are in agreement. The Chiefs are going to roll the Titans. All right, our next Saturday game is the Falcons heading to Los Angeles to play the Rams, one of the surprise teams in the playoffs this year.
Who, the Rams?
Yeah.
Well,
I think they had the biggest offensive turnaround in the NFL in the history of the NFL.
Well, and here's the thing. The NFC West next year, with the way the 49ers have been playing a lot since they got Garoppolo, I mean, that's going to be a tough fucking division next year.
Yeah, it's going to be an extremely tough division. The Hawks have this isn't Hawk talk, but the Hawks have a lot of work for them in the offseason. They've got to really retool and kind of find what they had a couple years ago again. But anyway, Falcons and the Rams.
The Rams did win the division. I think they've already played the Falcons once.
But got their asses handed to them last week by the 49ers. And that was a game that there was still stuff on the line. The Rams had a chance at a first-round bye. And in a better season.
Were they playing their starters?
Yeah, they played everybody.
Oh.
And I think they played everybody. I'm pretty sure they played everybody.
I don't think they played Gurley because I remember my cousin was upset that Gurley wasn't getting her any fantasy points.
Well, that's because the Niners apparently are a good team. I'm looking right now. Go ahead and talk about the Falcons for a minute.
So, Atlanta's got, they got the reigning MVP, and they have Julio Jones, and if I remember right, they have one of the best rush defenses in the league. I think. I can't remember correctly. But I don't know. Atlanta feels like they had their time last year, and I think they're still just kind of riding in a mediocre division.
That's true. And real quick, stat correction on me. Yes, the Rams did not play their starters, so take back everything I said. But still, the Niners really stomped them pretty good.
Yeah. Well, the 49ers are a team on the rise, but that's for next season.
Yeah. You know what? I think that's a mistake. Can I just say, I think it's a mistake by the Rams. This is a young team. Yeah, this is a young team with... I think benching all of your starters to give them rest. I mean, you're young and hungry. I think this is bad. I think it's a bad sign, man. I'm gonna go with the Falcons on this one. I think the Rams are a better team, but they don't have a lot. They don't have a lot of playoff experience. They have almost no play. I don't know if anybody on the team has any playoff experience. And I think benching your team when you're as red hot as the Rams have been is just a bad idea.
I don't know. I think with the way that Gurley's been playing, he's an obvious MVP candidate just for this year. I think the Rams will have it in them, even though Atlanta didn't seem like they were too banged up. I don't think they had a lot of injuries.
No, they're not. They're a good team. They just haven't found their consistency that they had last year this year. But they're still tough. They got a solid defense. Like I said, they smashed Cam Newton and the Panthers this last week. So I don't know. Me personally, I think experience counts, and I think, especially in the wild card, I think the Falcons are going to go take it to the Rams. I think benching all their players was a bad move by Coach McVay's part, and I think they're inexperienced.
I think the Rams did a good idea. Their players are going to be well rested, and Gurley's going to have 200 rushing yards and 300 passing yards.
Would you like to put a side bet on that, Ryan?
No, I would not.
I did not think so. All right, well, I guess we have our first split decision. I'm going to go with the Falcons, and Ryan's going to take the home, probably not dog, but the home Rams. All right, next up, Sunday games. First up, we got the Bills heading to Jacksonville. And you know what? I like to say for the record, I think it's great the Bills got into the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I think it's amazing.
That they got to wipe themselves of being the team that hadn't been in the playoffs, or a professional team that hadn't been in the playoffs for like the longest.
Yes.
Which now goes to the Seattle Mariners.
I saw a stat today that said the Supersonics were in the play. The Seattle Supersonics, not the Thunder. The Seattle Supersonics have been in the playoffs. Have less of a playoff drought than the Mariners do.
That's pretty sad.
Yes, that means that we lost our team. They were in the playoffs, and then we lost them, and the Mariners still, in that time, have not done... fuck the Mariners. I don't want to talk about the Mariners. We're not doing baseball talk.
That 2001 season, though.
The Bills, I did think it was pretty cool. The Bills fans, Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton and the Bengals beat the Ravens to propel the Bills into the playoffs. And Andy Dalton did it on like a 4th and 12. And anyway,
yeah, I watched parts of the game. It was a crazy game.
The Bills were so happy that they sent every single fan was sending $17 to Andy Dalton's charity. Why $17? Because that's how many years it's been since the Bills made the playoffs. And and now it's become a thing where everyone, they started upping it from $17. People are sending all these people around Buffalo are sending Andy Dalton's charity $100, $1,000. All this money that he's actually putting together like an official fundraiser and thanking all the fans of Buffalo for the money donated to his charity. That is a hard-pressed fan base, and you know what? And I would love to pick them this weekend, but I think they're going to lose. Jacksonville's defense, their offense is suspect, but their defense is tough as nails, especially at home, and I think Jacksonville is going to get this one.
They're tough as nails, even though the 49ers game, it kind of got out of control for them.
Yeah.
I think that they're back into their true form.
Yes.
And I don't think the Bills, it's
can we
not
just
going to be...
give a quick shout out to the 49ers? I know you talked about it a little bit earlier, but good Lord, Garoppolo comes in and they're like a playoff team. They're just beating everybody. I'm not happy about this. Fuck you, Belichick, you dick. You just couldn't screw everybody in the AFC. Now you had to send your little love child over here to the NFC now, too? Kiss my ass.
I was just saying that because the 49ers were the only team that ran up the score on Jacksonville this year.
I mean,
they're the only ones that did it.
I mean, really, they don't have a lot of good players. And Garoppolo is just like, that's okay, I got this. Whoop, Whoop, whoop. Carlos Hyde's talking about they're going to the Super Bowl, which I think is crazy, but I don't know. Maybe it's not. They beat the Rams and Jaguars. Ooh,
yeah.
Probably should
So
have beat the Seahawks.
I think the Jaguars are definitely got this game. The Bills are they're just happy to be in it, and that's about all they're going to get out of it.
Well, here's what Jacksonville is. Here's what you need to do. You guys have an amazing defense, a phenomenal running game, good receivers. What you need to do is go sneak in some quarterback. Maybe go find like an Aaron Rodgers, somebody who's not playing right now in the playoffs, and then put on Blake Bortles' uniform on him. But get like a visor so nobody can see his face.
Yeah, put a visor on and then do like one of those long neck things that the players wear that go like over their mouth.
And then have Bortles like walk around the sidelines, and whenever the camera cuts to him, you'll hide under a tent and then Bortles take his helmet off real quick, and then everyone think it's Bortles. Because if you had a quarterback, Jacksonville, I would probably pick you to win the Super Bowl. Your defense is that good. Unfortunately, Blake Bortles is one of the worst quarterbacks in the history of the NFL. And it won't. I don't think it's going to hurt you this week against the Bills, but next week when you got to play Pittsburgh or New England, I'm not sure how that goes.
Well, as Denver and Seattle has shown, defense can win championships. Yeah. So I think if there's any team that's going to follow through with that mantra this year, it'll be Jacksonville.
Well, but Denver and Seattle also had pretty good quarterbacks.
Yeah, that's true.
Blake Bortles is no Russell Wilson or Peyton Manning, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Even if Peyton Manning at the end of his career hit a lame duck arm and 2 bionic knees.
But it will be enough to beat the Bills.
Yes, it will be enough to beat Bills. We're in agreement right now. Jacksonville is going to beat the Bills at home. All right, and our last game of the weekend is going to be stupid Carolina Panthers going to New Orleans to play my new team in the playoffs, the New Orleans Saints. That's who I'm hitching my wagon to.
I don't know. They got Drew Brees. How old is fucking Drew Brees?
Who cares? He's got 2 running backs. He's got one that's like 19 years old and is full of jet fuel because that dude is insane. Kamara, that dude is like single-handedly the greatest running back in the NFL right now. He catches the ball. He runs the ball. He does everything with that stupid ball. That guy could score on any play. Any play.
Yeah. I haven't watched a lot of Saints games this year, but
I have because I had Kamara on my fantasy football team.
But I think Cam Newton. I don't think. Yeah, I don't think he's got it in him. Honestly, I think whatever they were able to achieve getting into the Super Bowl, they're never going to be even to get close to that. So,
well, let's put it this way: the Panthers had the division on the line. They could have possibly won the division. New Orleans was neck and neck with Tampa Bay. If New Orleans loses and Carolina wins that division. Everything to lose or everything to gain. And Cam Newton starts the game 0 for 9. 0 for 9. Ends the day like 12 of 36 and 3 interceptions. He had like a 20 quarterback rating. The guy is garbage. Hot, stinky garbage. And
he's got to dab his way out of the playoffs.
I mean, Blair Walsh cost the Hawks a chance in the playoffs. But if Cam Newton would have handled his business, he also cost the Seahawks. Okay, that logic makes no sense. But I hate him. He cares more about his stupid hats and his dabbing than he does about getting touchdowns.
Well, I have a hard time trying to go with the Carolina Panthers. I just don't see that they have it. They don't have this strong defense that they had. And I think, like you're saying, the New Orleans Saints they have the tools.
Yeah, well, they've been there before.
I don't know.
Drew Brees has won a Super Bowl. They're reloaded. Their defense is really stout. And on the other side, you have a decent defense with Cam Newton and the Panthers. But you have Cam Newton through 3 of the worst picks I've ever seen, calling out his receivers, saying they should go after the ball more. So that is happening right before playoffs. Panthers are going to lose this one. New Orleans is going to handle their business, and they're going to move on.
I agree with you.
All right, so the tiebreaker for us will be the Falcons and the Rams. We'll see next week who is the victor and who is the loser. Victory is mine.
Rams.
Anyway, that's all we got for you guys this week. Thank you for joining us. Like I said on the show last week, from now on till now the Super Bowl, me and Ryan will be doing this together. So you have us. You have both of us. 2 for the price of 1. But
Yeah,
I will be classing it up in my beautiful gear, and he's going to be slumming it in his stupid sports coats. Anyway.
This is professional, Brad. I try to bring
There's nothing about this show that's professional.
I bring a certain level to this show.
Yeah, whatever.
And it's way up here.
Yeah.
At the top of the box.
No, it's not. Anyway, thank you for joining us. As always, you can find us at the Geek Dad Report on Facebook, Twitter, not Instagram, maybe Grindr, possibly Tinder, and definitely not on Snapchat. So until then, don't forget to watch Geek Dad Report every Thursday, and go Hawks.
Go Steelers. Next week.
Go Hawks. 18th round, 18th pick in the draft.
12th draft pick.
Whatever.
Enjoy.
Whatever. Later.